Say, if at first you get sued and have to pay out $25 million, not only is he dishonest, he's not too bright.
Growing in rain.
Phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, that he'll put it on the actual show.
There's no way this man is broke. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is, I don't know where the money went to.
Floyd Mayweather loses it as Jimmy Kimmel openly criticizes his money-making strategies and live exhibition bouts. Kimmel made fun of Floyd's fixation with cash grabs. Mayweather was extremely incensed after the altercation, and the live interaction left viewers speechless.
I guess it's something that they just made up.
Something made up. Do you think they're going to paint over that when it goes as everyone seems to think it's going to go?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You should buy that gym from him and knock it down with a wrecking ball.
We can do that.
That would be something you could do.
We can do that.
You could potentially make. How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow. I know you love money, right? I mean,
it's cool.
However, underneath the glitzy exterior, significant fractures were beginning to appear, and Jimmy Kimmel's direct questions only served to fan the flames. Even the biggest fortunes for Mayweather might be at risk due to excessive spending, bad investments, and a lack of steady revenue sources. As financial experts have long warned, it appears that these concerns are now coming true.
Instagram. You're on what looks like a private plane, just with a whole...
No, my private plane.
Your private plane, sorry. With a whole lot of money, and it looks like a couple of bowls of ketchup, maybe, also.
No.
Are you eating this money?
Those are cup holders.
Oh, those are cup holders, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a private plane.
You didn't flew on.
What do you do with all this money? I mean, like, do you actually use it? I mean, are you using the cash?
And, cash is king.
Do you have an ATM card?
I'm the human ATM.
Floyd Mayweather recently gave the impression that he was still wealthy and in control of the real estate market by pointing to buildings and asserting that he owned many homes while strolling around the streets of New York City. Investigative sources soon exposed that many of the structures Mayweather spoke about were not in his name, nor connected to any of his registered company enterprises, thereby putting an end to this myth. This inconsistency has further fueled mounting rumors over his capacity to maintain his public image and financial stability.
What's going on with Floyd Mayweather, man?
Man, do we got money or not? I don't know what's going on.
I'm lost.
Man, I seen, I think Stephen A was talking about he was bankrupt.
See, I know he came out with this commercial talking about he just invested in this deal that's worth like $402 million that's dealing with 60 apartment buildings.
Yeah, I heard a nigga bought half of New York.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so he walking down the street of New York. Yeah, I own that one. I
seen that too.
So some people reached out to the agencies that he's connected with about this deal, and they said no comment.
Let me say something. I got a question. Niggas is nosy for no reason.
Nosy as hell.
What I'm reaching out to these people about they deal for?
We want to talk to you about the Floyd Mayweather deal. No comment. But they say his name ain't on no paperwork or nothing.
I seen him on something. He look like a bum.
Floyd?
He was looking like a bum, had like he ain't shaved in months.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
There's no way this man is broke. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is, I don't know where the money went to.
Transcend monetary considerations. Legal issues have dogged Mayweather for a long time. Lawsuits brought by ex-girlfriends who claimed he mistreated them emotionally are included in one very concerning chapter. His reputation has already been further tarnished by the lawsuits. Tarnished by prior accusations, the lawsuits' detailed information pointed to a concerning trend that goes beyond single occurrences. These legal troubles have persisted in casting a shadow over his reputation, making it hard for Mayweather to completely distance himself from a contentious past.
Floyd Mayweather, real quick, okay? So somebody sent me a lawsuit. I gotta go through the details. But apparently, a few of his girls, strippers at Girl Collection are suing him for loss of wages. Okay. Now I wasn't gonna pay attention to this because I was just like, well, how are y'all strippers and you suing him for loss of wages? I'm trying to figure that out. Like, you get your money from the Patriot. What does he have to do with your money? And so somebody put a little bird in my ear. They said this was the beginning of the lawsuit. Okay. They're going to be adding more allegations of harassment and all this stuff. And I was just like, no, hold up. No, you worked in a club. And so apparently there's more to come. All right. But here's my thing. I was like, the last person that filed a lawsuit against him, alleging anything, where's she at? Anybody seen her?
A video surfaced that showed Mayweather renting extravagant residences, frequently ones he doesn't need, for outrageous sums of money. Critics contend that his lifestyle choices, such as renting homes rather than buying or residing in them, are more about appearances than functionality, and that they show a desperate attempt to maintain an air of wealth rather than wise financial judgment for someone who bills himself as a financial guru. Instead of planning, this pattern shows recklessness.
Floyd Mayweather just signed a deal to lease an apartment in Midtown Manhattan. He's going to be paying $100,000 per month for this place. Here's the apartment, you guys. It's got 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 4,000 square feet, and the place is pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie. The description says that this is a double unit and it is a corner unit, so you got a ton of natural light in here. Do you think this place is worth $100,000 per month? Why would Floyd spend $100,000 a month on this apartment? If I had to guess, it would be a combination of owning something is just kind of a liability. Plus, I'm pretty sure whenever you rent a place versus buy a place for business purposes, you're able to write off more of that lease payment. So if I had to guess, that $100,000 per month is going to be a pretty big write-off for him based on how he plans to use it.
What many perceived as damage prevention. A film displaying Mayweather's real estate interests across America was published. He explained a change in emphasis from opulent homes to business assets that generate revenue. The public was to be reassured by the film that his sales of pricey properties were a part of a broader investment shift.
Floyd Money Mayweather is at it again. This time, not in the ring, but in the real estate market. The undefeated boxing champ just sold his Miami Beach mansion for a jaw-dropping $22 million. Let's break down the numbers and see why Floyd's still living up to his nickname. Mayweather originally bought this stunning waterfront property in 2021 for $18 million. Fast forward 3 years and he's walking away with a cool $4 million profit. Not bad, right? And here's a fun twist. The buyer is taking on a $13 million mortgage, which comes with monthly payments of nearly $99,000. Now, let's talk about the mansion itself. It's a 3-story masterpiece, spanning over 9,000 square feet, with 9 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. But the amenities? Next level. A 5,000 square foot rooftop with panoramic...
During a press conference in 2017, Mayweather pulled out an uncashed check for $100 million in an attempt to silence his detractors. The funds came from his battle with Manny Pacquiao, and he demonstrated his wealth by waving it around. Many wondered why such a large check went uncashed, despite the fact that the gesture was dramatic and unforgettable.
He's like the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, the UFC.
I didn't know Conor McGregor was undefeated. I didn't know that he had a reign in MMA for 20 years and undefeated, and was world champion in 5 different weight classes. That's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys telling me something new. If you say he's the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA.
Well, do you?
I mean, if you say he's the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, I'm trying to find out. Have you ever made $300 million in one night? Have you ever made $100 million in one night? Have you ever made $70 million in one night? So, as far as trying to say that he's the Floyd Mayweather of MMA, I mean, it's okay to just to say it, but it's not true. I'm a legend, a living legend. You know, I gave to the sport of boxing. I gave years and years of hard work. It was blood, sweat, and tears. I had a tremendous team. I had a tremendous run. I think that it's time for Conor McGregor need to go out there and do what he do. But never compare Conor McGregor to me. That's a total disrespect. Well, I mean, once again, I I'm an elephant. Elephant don't beef with ants. You know, elephant is so large you don't even see ants.
For years, Mayweather has justified his lavish lifestyle as the fruit of years of toil. He frequently reminds audiences that, in his opinion, he battled his way to the top from poverty. Showing off money is a source of drive rather than conceit. Mike Tyson, a legendary boxer, once said that Floyd was a bit too self-indulgent and that his incessant self-praise verges on fantasy. Tyson's criticism is consistent with a broader view among sportsmen and fans that Mayweather's preoccupation with showing off his wealth, particularly in times of worldwide economic distress, does not inspire but rather reflect poorly on him. It frequently comes off as tone-deaf and arrogant.
What lessons do you think Pacquiao and Mayweather could learn from you in terms of life away from the ring?
Well, Floyd seemed to be going through some stuff like me right now, you know, like realizing no one's his friend and everybody's probably, even though I even hate to say it, because maybe everybody's kind of a little jealous of him, you know, because he is Floyd Mayweather. I know these other guys got their money, but this guy is the champ of the world. You know, it's hard to compete with that. So he's pretty big on those scales as far as on the celebrity scale. So he's gonna realize what life is all about and what friends are all about, and realize that we only have a few of them, and sometimes they're the only ones we got. They may not be the ones we want, but they're the ones we have. You know, sometimes we want to have glorious, glamorous friends, but they don't want to be.
When Mayweather contrasted his earnings with Anthony Joshua's, his preoccupation with demonstrating his financial superiority resurfaced. Although this may have been technically true, he bragged that he made $74 million in entrance money without the need for large audiences. The comment's underlying tone was clearly defensive, and many saw it as just another manifestation of Mayweather's envy and his incessant desire to establish his superiority over more up-and-coming, well-liked competitors.
He said in particular, and then there was also some footage that dropped a couple hours ago on IFL TV that, you know, is the reason I'm making this video. He made some comments about Anthony Joshua and compared, you know, I guess, you know, his, you know, because, you know, he talks about his money a lot. So he compared, like, I guess, his fight with Pacquiao to Anthony Joshua. And he was saying, like, you know, basically they didn't need 100,000 or 90,000 people to do X amount of dollars. You know, here, I'm going to let you listen to it. Here's what he had to say verbatim. Here's what Floyd said about Anthony Joshua.
Talk about that. I was in the Guinness Book of World Record for breaking all the records. You didn't tell them that?
Of course you have.
for generating what billions in the sport of boxing, that or having the fastest sellout crowd.
But
I mean, and, you know, those guys done. You know, and I was watching a fight when I was at my Miami house. I was at my Miami home. I was watching a fight with Klitschko and the guy Joshua, and they said that this is electrifying, sort of like the Pacquiao and Mayweather. And I said, well, we didn't have to have all those hundreds of thousands to do a $74 million game. So, and like I said before, but those guys put on a hell of a show. Like I said before, you know, I'm just on another planet, and you definitely know it, because you've been around for years. And you see the same thing over and over and over again.
All right, so there you have it. Mayweather basically saying that, you know, he's on another planet and all this stuff. And
La Hoya Oscar Mayweather
people and all
has
this
been
stuff,
charged
but,
with hypocrisy
I mean,
by his
let's look at it
longtime
like this.
opponent, while Floyd has made millions by taking use of the same audiences by labeling others as influencers and collecting checks from exhibition bouts versus social media celebrities. De La Hoya pointed out that Mayweather regularly makes fun of YouTubers and crossover fighters like Ryan Garcia. Mayweather appears to defy his own expectations.
Talking about this kid Ryan Garcia. Tank got his followers from kicking ass. Ryan Garcia got his followers from YouTubers. There's a difference. So you want to be a YouTuber or you want to be a fighter? Tank is a fighter.
What the fuck? So Ryan Garcia's not a fighter? He's been fighting since he was 7 years old. He has 200 plus amateur fights. I don't care where his followers come from, if they come from fucking Mars. The fact is that Ryan's followers are selling this fight. And plus, don't you remember you fought YouTubers? Are you putting YouTubers down? You profited from them. I can't with you, dude. You're fucking dumbass. I can't wait. April 22nd, Ryan Garcia fucking knocking out Tank Davis.